Chiefs Kingdom. I think you guys are in a pretty good mood. I think you should be. I think you can all breathe a sigh of relief for your favorite running back, or at least one of your favorite running backs on this roster. We're going to get into everything, answer all your questions, update you on what's going on with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the rest of the reserve list, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Welcome to Locked On RGR Football. Yep, everything is everything today.
And RGR, all the same.
Yeah.
The same.
I have to come up with some title that just covers everything. But hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well out there. If you'd like sub and hit the bell if you're new, join the party because this the bandwagon has some room on it, folks. I know it's coming. This is Dan Harms. How are you, Dan?
Doing good. You know, the bandwagon's kind of closed off for me. I think we all. There's some people that jumped off. I know that we all had differing opinions about the three when they were 3 and 4. I think that if you go back and look at some of the tweets that I've had, some of the things we've said, I think you can all kind of make an adjustment process and opinions change with new information. That's kind of how this was. The team that was 3 and 4 wasn't playing very good football. I think that was pretty obvious. But now, when you can turn it around, you see how they're playing now. They're playing as if not the best team in football. So yeah, I think that the bandwagon for some of these people should be closed off. But just for those altering their opinions with new information, yeah, you can come on back. It's okay.
Okay, it's gonna be all right. Folks, Aaron Morrow, our fearless mod, is in the house. Say hi to him. And thanks, Aaron. I'm glad that the combo works for you as well. So we're going to get into all your questions tonight. If you want to make them stand out or you want to support the channel, all you got to do is hit that super chat button. That always helps us. We appreciate that. But if you ask a question and you do super chat us, make sure you ask a question so I can get you something for tonight. Dan will handle half of these because, I'm out in left field half the time. I could make 11 fullbacks work. I'm just saying.
We all could.
If I could clone Mike Burton 10 times, I would field an offense. I don't know if I'd win much, but I'd field an offense. That said, we're going to go over your questions. Really just want to drop our takes on a sigh of relief. And I do feel like it is a sigh because you never want to see your first round pick go down. And what we got today was confirmation that there's no ligament damage. So the x-ray ruled out a break. Now the MRIs rule out the ligament damage. That's good. There's swelling around the joint. That's okay. The AC joint in particular, where the clavicle connects to the chest, that has a tendency to swell up just from like normal patterns of play. You have a couple of big hits, a lot of times guys will get some swelling in that spot. So it's not terribly concerning at that point. I think he should be fine. And certainly they seem to call it, what they say, week to week.
Yeah, week to week.
I'm comfortable with that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think we might not even see him until the playoffs. I think that might be what ends up happening. There's 2 games left now. Maybe it would come down. Maybe he plays in the last game of the season, but I don't expect to see him against the Bengals, and I don't think they need to rush him, especially if they want to make sure he's healthy for the playoff push. That's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Easy, Stevie. That's not the kind of company I keep. I cuss way too much for that in my real life, so you got to keep it real. Young, thank you for your question. You have a good one. Do you think that Gore takes over? Because I want it to happen. I don't. This team trusts Darryl. He'll be the starter. No. But I really like the 1-2 punch. Do you think that Gore should be the starter, Dan? Or are you comfortable with Darryl being the first guy out there?
I mean, I assume that he's going to be. I'm comfortable with him being. I think right now that's how it should go because we've seen Gore in spurts have explosions. Everything else has been very limited to this point. I think that he's had a couple plays that he's done well, and I think everything else, the majority of the time, has been what a UDFA shows. Not always great vision, some slow feet at times, even though he's got better feet than you expect for a guy his size, who looks almost like Darrell Williams, but it's a little bit fleeter of foot, I would say. So I still think he's adjusting to the game, of the speed of the game as well. So he's got some adjustment period to do. And I think that if he adjusts properly, then he might be the guy to edge out Darrell Williams if it comes to that 1-2 situation.
Yeah, eventually. There's clearly more upside ahead of Derek Gore than there is of Darrell. Darrell is pretty much the player that he's going to be, which is very functional and very helpful and very well-rounded. Doesn't mean somebody can't surpass him in one aspect of the game or another. And honestly, I think the biggest thing for me, my takeaway, was that I thought Gore looked better receiving last night than we had seen from him before.
Yeah, I'm getting more comfortable for sure.
Flapjack, thank you. We're going to roll here with a couple of the running back questions since we're on it already, you guys. Flapjack, thank you. Get well, CEH. Take the time you need. No hurry back. I am totally with you. Like, I'd rather see him be fully healthy and not play these next 2 games.
Me too.
Than rush it because I'm very comfortable with the 2 guys they have. And even heard that Jared McKinnon is closer than we thought maybe to being able to return. So that's a plus too. Clearly, unfortunately for Jarek, he's fallen to number 4 on the depth chart for me at this point. Is there any reason that you would have him above anyone else at this point?
No, that there's even when he was the 3, he wasn't being utilized as such, and he wasn't doing enough to warrant that. They've used Derek Gore as the 3 and gotten production out of him, so I don't expect that to change.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad that we see that eye to eye. Let's see. I'm gonna pin that one for later and that one too. Let's see. And Scott, not day to day, but more week to week. But yes, that means I fully expect that Clyde will not have to play, and if he does, it'll be sparingly this next contest against the Bengals. So you should see more Gore. I think they still want to keep the committee thing going. You know, is it a 50-50? It might be, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Let's see. Anything else running back related? I'm just looking for the comments here. Guys, if you are new and you haven't subbed to the channel yet, go ahead and click that now. Get subbed and hit the thumb for me. But also put question marks at the beginning of your question. Helps me pick them out of the chat, and I'm notoriously bad about it. So if you're new to Chiefs Kingdom, welcome. Just if you'd help us out with that, that would help. Brett, do you guys think that if we release Gordon, he can go free up cap to sign Matthew? What's he against the cap? 1.8?
Yeah, that's not much at all.
And it doesn't help next year at all.
No,
he's 1 year. So I don't think that they'll release him. Do you?
No, I don't think so. Not this year anyway. I don't see him coming back next year, to be honest with you. And after this year, they have a ton of different options to free up cap space. So they are going to have quite a bit of money to play around next year, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Take this one from Patrick, and I'll line us up some more.
All right, thanks, Patrick. So if the Chiefs win this week against the Bengals, so the starters play in Denver, it all hinges on what happens to Tennessee and Miami next week. Funny enough, the Chiefs are asking Miami to once again lock up the 1 seed for them, which is funny. It's fun to think, or a bye, I should say, because I think last time they were locking up the 2 seed, and that ended up being what happened there. So, yeah, pretty much if the Titans lose to the Dolphins next week, then the Chiefs beat the Bengals, then you rest your starters against Denver, and I believe that's what Andy will do in that situation.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me as well. There's no reason to stress yourself. Let's take the easiest road there. Will it make the games a little closer than maybe they should? It might, but
yeah,
I'm going to be able to live with that. I'm pretty sure. Let's see, dude. Thank you. If Darrell is too expensive for next season, or even if he isn't, do you entertain thought of keeping Gore as your backup instead, or do you think they could bring in a similar skill set? I think they let those guys battle it out. And honestly, you've seen this year, the up and down and the going to iron, all that stuff. You can't really have enough of them. So you might as well keep all the good ones you got.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they'll do. And they might add some UDFAs, maybe a day 3 pick to the mix, which I honestly expect them to add more dynamicism to the running back position in one way, shape, or form. But yeah, I'd expect them just to keep those 3 guys on the roster. Don't bring McKinnon back and just let them duel it out.
I'm down. Because the only drawback that is that you don't want them to fight so hard that they get hurt or anything. But
yeah,
it helps the team if they're battling. Hydra, thank you for the support. What scares you most about the Bengals?
The receivers at the catch point. That's it. Nothing else about them does, because even if you're in good position, as we've seen the Chiefs corners be in, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase bring those balls down at a better rate than any duo the Chiefs have seen. So it's going to be a very different atmosphere in terms of the wide receiver position that they have seen at this stage, and it's going to be, can you fight at the catch point? Can you force Joe Burrow not to have that extra half second? Because we just saw against the Ravens, even though the Ravens defense was depleted, he gets that extra half second. He finds the guy, even in double coverage, which T. Higgins was double covered at one of those gigantic bombs down the field. Joe Burrow doesn't care. Okay. So you're going to have to get your head around, find the football, and you'll make plays on the ball because he will put it up for you, his guys to make a catch. If you're in good position, you see the ball, you're bound to come down with one of those. So that's what it is. That's what it is for me.
Absolutely. And before I go any farther, I want to say Jimmy Phillips, thank you for last night.
Appreciate it.
I missed whatever last super chat that was. It snuck in there under my radar, but we want to say thank you for the support last night. I was a little hyped up.
Sorry about that, man.
I'm sorry I skipped over it, but wanted to get you tonight, and hopefully you're here as well. So we're 10 minutes in, and I should have done that at the top of the show. Apologies, Jimmy, but thank you for the support as always. You've always been a contributor around here, and I very much appreciate it. I agree with you. I will say this too. I think the key to that is if you don't have Matthew, if he has to miss any time because of that quad contusion, I think you just have to go with too high and play more double deep so that you can bracket them and let Juan get a jump on something. Because I think that's what the key will be to taking some of those jump balls away is having the safety coming over.
Yeah, they're going to have to. And like I said, that deep ball to T. Higgins yesterday, where the corner and the safety just didn't get their head around. And you have T looking at the ball and you have two guys looking this way. That's not going to ever end up well for you in a guy who's that good at the catch point. So you have to get eyes on the ball.
This is what you're trying to avoid.
Yes.
Guys, I want to remind you, we do this on Mondays and Thursdays. Dan and I Monday, Seth and I on Thursday. And hey, congratulations. You just did a great job last Thursday when I got hung up. That was great. So
it was fun.
Folks, the live streams are always fun. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, especially the Thursday one. It could be Ryan and I, could be, Ryan by himself, it could be Seth by himself, it could be Seth and me. Who knows?
We're all subject to outside influences. Stuff happens.
Yes.
I'll just put it that way. Seth, thank you for the question. I'm tired of Sachs talked about these little special treats by this organization. Why did you not have 4+ sacks on Ben? I will tell you this. I looked at the snap counts today. Jaron and Frank played less than half the snaps. Chris didn't play a whole lot more than that. This was a game where when you got that lead, it was let's rotate the guys. Let's let the younger guys have some reps. Let's take the tread down on the vets. I think that's what it was. Turk still ended up with 7 pressures. His best performance as a defender. And I think it was under the radar a little bit. I said that on Locked On Chiefs today as well. Like you had the big play with the turnover, but outside of that, I didn't hear him get much love on the broadcast. I didn't hear many fans talking about it last night. He had the best pressure game performance of his career to this point.
That's one of the things I'm going to go a little bit more in depth on in my video tomorrow is talking about Tershawn Wharton, because I looked at it and I'm like, no way. There's no way he had 7 pressures in that game. Another guy, Alex Okafor, had 5. Okafor had 5 pressures. So they were continuously getting to Ben. And Ben, at this stage in his career, we all know he's not a guy who can sit in the pocket, avoid pressure. He needed to get the ball out quick, and he knew he had to get the ball out quick. So you saw him just try to get rid of the ball as fast as he could because he knew that they were coming for him. They knew it. Wow. He knew that. So that's why you're not going to return a ton of those pressures into sacks, because the quarterback also knows that he's got to get the ball out. He's not going to be able to hold on to what he can't.
And you saw the result when you let Ben take more than 3 steps now.
Exactly.
Stuff goes wrong. So, hey, It is what it is. Jaden, thank you for the support as always. Should the Chiefs go get Madison from Minnesota? I like his game. That's fine. But any veteran on a second deal is going to be way more expensive than a UDFA that you can find that has the attributes that you want. Running back's a young man's game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I would just do that.
Just keep putting day 3 picks and UDFAs at it. Like that's what they're going to do. They're going to realize that they shouldn't be taking running backs in the first round. They're going to realize it. I think this is going to be one of those things that has happened to them because they took a running back in the first round, and they're going to start to shy away from that a little bit. And they're going to understand, especially with the emergence of Darrell Williams and Derek Gore, that maybe we should just draft and bring a bunch of these guys in and see what they can do. Because running back is the most replaceable position unless you get the elite of the elite. And even then.
So, Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry are two very irreplaceable guys, but that's, it is what it is.
At some point, I think that's what we should do when the season's over with. We'll go over my draft board from that class, which was 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 drafts ago. Just to see how wrong I was in what places. If I remember correctly, I had Taylor over Clyde, not by a small margin. But I had somebody else in there too, and now I can't remember it off the. I think it was Swift. I had.
I was about to say there was DeAndre Swift. I had Clyde. Like there was 4 guys up there, and they were like, this was how my top 4 running backs went. It was very, very close on all of them. So.
Oh, it's funny. Mine was spread out. Okay, so this is definitely something we'll do when the season's over. Gary Holland, thank you for being back. What's the most important position for the drafts next year? I think you guys are going to be surprised because I'm not going to say corner. Right now, your starting 3 corners next season are L'Jarius, Fenton, and Baker.
Yep.
You can't say that about the other 2. You don't have a starting pair, let alone 3 at either of the other positions.
It's defensive end for
I don't know. Yeah, of the 2, it'll always be defensive end for me as well. But that said, I think there could be a free agent in the future there as well, depending on the Orlando and the Matthew contracts. So it might not just be all draft related. But that doesn't go to say, Gary, they still need depth. Like I was really encouraged by Boodle after having been on the bench for so long.
Yeah.
His performance last night, I was encouraged by. So they have more depth stacked there. I like Zane Anderson. You saw him make a special teams tackle, but that's very thin at safety. I know Armani's back there. I think Armani's going to be a free agent as well.
Yeah.
So like it's just Juan and Zane at this point.
I think they're going to bring back Watts because he's going to be cheap. But again, you have to have probably some.
And I'm for it.
Yeah. You'll probably see a vet
side
in there.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Gary. Chris, thank you for the support. We appreciate it. Keep making great content. Always look forward to your streams. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. I highlighted your comment before. I'll try to go back and see if you asked a question, but thank you for the kind words. And I'll just leave it at that while Dan takes the next question.
All right. Thank you, Jaski. I apologize for that. Not always great at reading some of these.
Doing better than me.
So, but what's up with the Honey Badger? So he's got a bone bruise, pretty much just a bone bruise. I assume he's going to play this week. He got back out on the field, and I think that he tested it, felt he was good enough to play, and then they were blowing him out, so they got everybody out essentially after that. So I expect him to be good to go on Sunday against the Bengals, and he's going to be pretty key in that matchup with the 3 wide receivers they got.
I concur. I just hope I heard it was soft tissue at first too, that it was in the quad. Either way, like I don't think it's serious, but if they do decide to give him a little time off, I'm okay with that too. I just wanted to hear it from their mouths. Sean, this is a great question, and I'm sorry, you guys. I don't mean to fall so far behind the chat, but we're going a little bit on this one. I'm going to let Dan start while I think of the way to word this.
Okay, well, I will admit I didn't get to see Tony Richardson play a whole lot, so I don't have a whole lot of memory back there to back up what I have. What I have is I have Anthony Sherman playing the wheel route that continuously sticks in my head because I can't not think about it when I think about what a fullback can do and the ability to hit a wheel route down the field for a touchdown. I personally think that Burton is more versatile than Anthony Sherman is, but I know that Richardson was just insane.
Yeah, I wish it were closer.
I think it's Richardson.
Stay on. It's Richardson.
Yeah.
And as much as I like Anthony, Mike has taken over that spot because Mike can do it all.
And he's better.
He is. He's a better runner. Give Anthony credit, especially for that wheel.
Yes.
Mike's a better pass catcher as well.
Yes.
He can do it all. They're right up there in terms of their special teams ability.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them was the monster that T. Rich was, though. I'm sorry, guys. And Mike, I hope you and your guys don't see this, but T. Rich was T. Rich. I'm sorry.
Nothing you can do about it.
No, there isn't. It's perfectly legit. Dan's going to answer this one while I try to fix the light.
Fix his light. All right. Thank you, Jake, for the super chat. Appreciate your donation, as you always do. Always great to see you back around here. What major shifts do you guys see, if any, on the roster going into the 22 season? Players signed, re-signed, released, or trade? Any players stand out? So I do believe that Frank Clark, Anthony Hitch, he just hit something else too.
Yeah,
Anthony,
just knocked the other one out.
I do believe that Frank Clark and Anthony Hitchens will be off this roster. It's possible, I guess, to bring Hitchens back, but I think that they just need to completely go young at linebacker, maybe bring someone a bit better athletically that's a veteran still at the linebacker position. But I think that what you're going to see is the defense is what's going to look much more different. I think you're going to have more guys at defensive end. I think you're going to have multiple guys at linebacker. And there's a possibility that you're going to see another strong safety in there that's not Tyrann Mathieu. So there's going to be quite a bit of turnover back there because you have some of these contracts that are going to come off the books, I think, and that they need them to come off the books. And the offense is going to look relatively the same, if not completely the same in terms of the starters. And the defense is where you're going to see some guys turn around.
I agree. I'm really looking forward to seeing, like, after you get over the hurdle of the reduction in salary cap, what they can do moving forward. Like, how does the practice go for the Mahomes contract and converting all that base and that stuff? Like, does it work out the way that I hope that it does? We're going to find out. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you. We're going to speed through these a little bit, guys, because I know I wasted time there, with the stuff.
It happens.
I want the so bad. He can play Hills elite, but won't last forever. Maybe sign Adams in the offseason. No. Especially if you're talking about Jamal being a free agent is to replace Tyrann.
No, I think he's talking about Devontae Adams.
Okay. Now, Devontae's great. Devontae, I think, is all around the better receiver. He's not Tyreek Hill. He cannot take the top off of the defense like Tyreek. There is only one of him. He is the best deep threat in this league. For Mahomes, I think that's more important because if you take and if you were to do that, replace Tyreek with Devontae, you're still relying on Hardman to be your deep threat to take the top off and make room for everybody else, particularly for Kelsey. And I don't think that works as well.
Yeah, there's one thing that a lot of people have said that a lot of things leave as you get older. Speed never really does. That's why Deshaun Jackson's still in the league and still a deep threat at his age, because your speed doesn't ever really leave you. It comes down a bit, and we all have seen that happen sometimes, but he's always going to be elite speed guy, always.
Jaden, I hope so. That's what I'm rooting for.
That'd be nice.
For those of you who haven't been on the channel that long, I have family that are Green Bay owners, and they're very proud of that fact. You know who I'm talking to. And so I'm looking forward to that. I don't mind if it's a rematch of any kind, to tell you the truth. They played the Bucks too. I'll be pleased as punch because I'm looking for a different outcome. Andy, welcome back. I know it's been a while. Peoples-Jones is playing well for the Browns. And was the Chiefs play with too complicated for him to grasp?
The Chiefs didn't draft Donovan Peoples-Jones.
No, he was drafted by the Browns. It's the only NFL team he's ever played for.
I do apologize.
I think you're thinking Ricky Seals Jones. No worries. She's always cues a button. Hey, lady. I'll wave bigger. How's that?
So
Hi. No, Donovan has always played in Cleveland. It was Ricky Seals Jones you were thinking of, is my guess, Andy. Night.
No, she's not going to bed. She just came to tell me that she went potty.
Okay, well, good. Hey, that's progress. Josh, how great it was to have a Dorian O'Daniel signing. Personally, I loved it. I was happy for him. And he did what he does. He was in the right place because he's athletic. He still got a little bit run over in that collision. To tell you the truth, he got the worst part of that.
He did get the worst part of it. But I mean, Chase Claypool's like what, 5 or 6 inches taller than he is, and outweighs him by 30 pounds plus.
Right? Yeah, it might be significant.
Yeah.
Ryan, how do you feel about the Chiefs refs do against the Bengals offense?
It must be defense.
Defense?
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking too. Oh, look, it's time to do the show. Huh, funny how that works. I'm comfortable with it. I think Dan brought up the other thing. Like I know Mixon's had a good season. I'm not really scared of the way that he runs. I think that if he were a guy that once he breaks into the open, he were gone, then I'd be a lot more concerned. But you got good performances out of Hitchens and Gay last night, as well as Ben Neiman in relief, and you should have Bolton back. I am perfectly fine with this scenario.
I'll try to make this quick. The Bengals actually match up pretty well for the Chiefs. They have been a run-first offense the majority of the season, unless they're playing the Baltimore Ravens, they turn into this pass happy offense. And if they do that against the Chiefs, that plays into exactly what they want you to do with the offensive line that they have. They want to pass rush with 4. They want to mix things up and drop into coverage and get you in more comfortable positions for them. So if they go run first, I think the Chiefs defense has done a good job of stepping up in those situations, specifically with the offensive line that they have. And I think if they are forced into passing situations as good as I think Joe Burrow's been, Spags can get him into some situations where he throws it up and guys like Matthew and Thornhill and Snead and Ward can come down with interceptions. So I think that they're a good matchup for this defense.
Yeah, I agree. Seattle Chief, I see you. I'm going to get to you. I'm just going to get in order so I don't lose anybody. Andy, thank you. Hello to all the Rogueheads. With Pringle's recent play, could we be outbid for him in free agency? I think that's a definite possibility.
It's a possibility. If this continues over the last and into the playoffs, that his free agent pool grows substantially.
Yeah. Think of every team sitting at home goes, hey, that guy could be catching and running for us.
Exactly. That play against the Steelers might have opened up a window for his free agency, which I'm a little scared of.
Yeah, it would be sad to see him go, but good for him because he's never going to be a wide receiver 1 here. So I know. Have a hard time making that claim on 2. It is what it is. I hope you guys see the comment I'm calling right now. Josh Gordon was a clutch Super Bowl touchdown. I'm glad that we recorded it. Thank you, Jaden.
We'll see, Jaden. I like your optimism, just not there with you.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Young, I know Ward is not a true lockdown corner, but how would they look without him next year? It will be a learning curve because that means that Baker is one of your outside corners, and he still has learning to do. I won't rule out that they add either in free agency or maybe the 3rd round pick, maybe a day 3 guy.
I still think the corner is going to be up there.
Yeah, I do too. I have trouble seeing it be the 1st round.
Yeah, me too.
But you never know. If the board falls that way, it falls that way. But Young, I'm with you. Casino, do you think the Chiefs secondary can cover the Bengals receiving core? Yes. I think we're comfortable with where it is, especially if they mix it up and they don't give them just straight man looks that they can get muscled over the top.
Yeah, and they're not huge speed
Although
guys,
I do want to see some of that. Exactly. I do want to see some physicality, though, and some man reps, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Tactics, thank you. Which Chief could best single cover Devontae Adams? It's Snead. It's not close.
He's the only one that could do it. I think Fenton gives you the physicality a little bit, but he's so crafty in his stem that I think he would lose Fenton pretty quickly. Snead's the only one that's got the recovery ability.
Yeah. I mean, Matthew will stay with him and be right in his hip pocket, screaming at him as he highballs over the top.
I was about to say, Devontae Adams just kind of like, here, I'll just take that real quick.
Yeah. And Juan's good, but Juan doesn't have the cut ability here after the knee issue to stay with Adams on some of his snappier routes. So yeah, I would definitely think that it's neat. Now there'll be a recognition factor that wouldn't be the greatest there, but hey, everybody's got their weakness. Hydra, thank you for the support. What did the Chiefs do with the defensive line this offseason? Clark, Ingram, Reed could all be leaving. Yes, I think Ingram and Reed are more likely to return on 1 years or low end contracts than Clark is.
I agree.
I'd like to see both. The Reed that you saw last night, he's the guy that they signed that we were hoping for. So
over the last month,
let's hope
really.
we see more of it.
Yeah.
But there's definitely good. If anybody has the depth behind them to not be resigned, it's probably Reed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're gonna have to play it by ear, but that's where we're at right now, Hydra. Andy, DOD is fast, hits hard, and looks good playing limited snaps on defense. Would love to see Gabe Bolton DOD against the Broncos. I certainly would too, because he can. I think Dorian can do the Sorensen role at the line of scrimmage, 10 yards and in.
I do too.
If you get him beyond 10 yards, I think he's at a disadvantage, and Dan's still the better player.
Unfortunately, I told you guys last night, I think Spags does this on purpose to give us a glimpse of what Dorian O'Daniel can do. And then he's like, I'm like, take him away, and I'm never going to play him again.
If only Steve Spagnuolo cared enough about what I thought to want to confound me.
I know he doesn't see what we post on Twitter. I know he doesn't. It's just
right. I will celebrate the day that he says, Trace, I'm just here to piss you off tonight. That would be great. Tactics. Did they run 2 high safeties? Did we burn it? I did see 2 high safeties. I wouldn't say anything burned, but hitting the backs, especially against 2 high, they have the space to get out there, and the corners are generally occupied. I like what they did with that. I still want to see them execute across the middle with guys like Gray, who has enough athleticism to get behind the linebackers and actually make something happen. But they don't seem to be putting them on those routes.
Not really. And it didn't matter what the Steelers did. They didn't do anything well. The Chiefs just executed. They were lights out in execution yesterday. That's just what it was.
Yeah, fair enough. Ethan, thank you for the support. If we can't afford or re-sign Matthew, what do we do? The position plays in re-sign, Sorensen, trade, or draft? Ooh, I'll let you start.
I'm not okay. I'm Sorensen's not back on this team next year. He's not. He's done. He's not coming back. I think Zane and Boodle. You saw early in the season that Boodle is a guy that they think has both ability. They think that he might be able to play both safety,
like Fenton, right?
Like Fenton. So I think there's a possibility there with Boodle and Zane, but you have to remember that they're both UDFAs, right? They were both UDFAs, so you need talent and you still need veteran leadership at the position. Thornhill is great, but he would be the elder statesman of the safety group if Watts isn't brought back. And even if Watts is brought back, that's not
because you only got playing time.
Yeah. So you're gonna, I believe, if Matthew's not back, you will see a veteran strong safety added, if not 2.
Yeah, I could definitely see them bringing one that is maybe a little higher dollar, so that you can then draft one, because there are a couple of actual free safeties in this draft that I like that might let Juan move to that robber that we saw a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
and if you do that. The size difference, having Juan at the robber in the middle of the field, I think makes a bigger difference.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be Tyrann Mathieu, but if you have to adapt to it, yeah, exactly. No one can replace Tyrann Mathieu, but if you have to, I like the chances of Juan Thornhill. Thank you, Ethan. We appreciate you. Same to you, Tactics. Thank you for the support as always. PFF doesn't know jack about QBs. They're small PPF. Okay. I like it. Bob Sutton's back. Coach Bob, I'm glad you're here. Man, you all go to some lengths to make these profiles. I love it. What happened to Breland Speaks? I believe he's down at the Piggly Wiggly. I'm not 100%. He got cut off at 2 practice squads last I checked. I know you miss him, Bob. It's okay. It's going to be cool. Relatively new subscriber. Welcome, Maze. Like 2 months or so. What does RGR stand for? RGR is now, unfortunately, out of it, because when I started, RGR was Ryan going rogue. And now I'm not rogue anymore, because got Dan, got Seth, got Stevie and Keys and Aaron, and now we're a team.
Yeah.
So I'm not really rogue anymore. But we, as a collective, are a little bit rogue on stuff.
Yeah, a little bit.
But just welcome, Maze. I'm glad you're here. Longmore. I thought the offense formation with Tyreek is tailback and the running back motioning to the backfield as a fullback. So many options. You're absolutely right. And I know Dan has wanted to see the wide receivers take more snaps from the running back depths. I think that still could be in the switcheroo playbook upcoming.
I'm hoping so. I just, there's 2 guys in the NFL that can really do what Tyreek Hill and Deebo Samuel do. And those are 2 guys. Like, that's it. They can play running back at a pretty high level in terms of getting to the edge or finding ways, and they can play wide receiver at a very high level. And it's a unique capability, and they need to use it more. They do. They really do. I know they're trying to keep him healthy and trying to maximize his production as a wide receiver, but there's so many different ways to use Tyreek Hill. So many.
Yeah. And I think that they've gotten a little bit like, we don't have enough depth behind him at wide receiver to let him go do that without forsaking the deep game in particular. All right. A lot of comments, guys. I'm falling behind, so we're going to rush through these a few. Got Longhorns. Jaden's back. Thank you, Jaden. I just want a Jamal Charles table runner. That's what I always like about running back. Hey, believe me, Dan and I agree with you. We'd like to see a home run hitter be part of that committee.
Yep.
Well done, Dan. Well done. That was called biting your tongue, folks.
I have to do it. I have to. I've had to mute him on Twitter because I just can't do it anymore.
Johnny Blue Jeans, I finally got to you. I didn't realize you had become Seattle Chief. I like that. I went to high school in Seattle, so I know some folks up there. Back in town for the holidays, but was kind enough not to attend the game like I did in September versus the Chargers. You're welcome. Thank you. Because, there's jinx stuff. Like my family's all like, hey, stop talking like it's 19 again because you're a jinx. I am not. Maybe you are, Johnny. I'm glad for you, and thank you for the support and for being a member for so long as well.
Appreciate it.
Folks, if you want to be a member, get in the Discord and all the other stuff, you just got to join. There's a button down there under Dan. Join at the rookie level or whatever and hit me over at this email address I'm going to put up here. Yeah, it's or down.
Like, I don't know why I reach over with my right arm when my left arm can actually do it. It's like right here. Right there. I'm just over here like trying to do this. What am I doing?
I'm always doing this to you, and then later in the show, I forget and do it the wrong way. It's rgrpodcast@gmail.com, and then I can get you invited into the Discord, and that's a lot of fun. Stevie and everybody set that up. Aaron, Stevie, Gooch, and Frankie. I appreciate that so much because it's really unique to this channel, and I hope that you guys dig it. Tatum, do you think that these cover twos actually help Patrick become a better QP and the Chiefs a better overall team? That's a good point, Tatum. Thank you for the support as always. I think it taught him patience. I think that's like, I know everybody's throwing that word around, but it really is true. But it also taught him to just stop screwing around. Like that outlet pass to Darryl last night, the pass he hit Gore on, those were both where he saw the look and he didn't have to read the whole field. He knew he was going to go to the check down. He just got the ball out and they executed it.
He's seeing the whole field better, and it's as much as it's patience. I think it's taught him to be a better pocket passer, which we've seen. We just saw it against the Steelers where he pirouetted back to the pocket to be able to go through his reads a little bit longer. And for a guy who would come off of his first read and then try to get out of the pocket, make things happen earlier in his career, he's developed the ability not only to trust his offensive line, which has been huge. The trust is clearly there now, but just to wait. Like it can't be easy as a quarterback to sit there and say, okay, he's not open. Now what do I do? Like I can't imagine that clock going through your head. And so he's gotten better at waiting. It's incredible.
And that's what it takes to just, the more you do that, the more they change out of what they're doing and give you the look that you really want. And I think that's what's key for Patrick. Yeah. So more power to him. Thank you, Tatum. Gary, love your input on the daily. Thank you for what you do, as well as Locked On Chiefs. Thank you, Gary. We appreciate your support and for everyone being here. You know, this is
awesome. This is great.
This is a labor of love. Dan and I'd just be sitting here talking to each other if it wasn't for you guys.
Which we would still do. But again,
these lonely Zoom calls just Justin, thoughts on this Sunday's game? I think it's got to be businesslike. We talked about the pass game. We talked about Mixon a little bit. Their defense has still got some good players on it as well. I think they have to handle it much like they did this one. Just go out and attack it. Be ruthless. I don't want to see them like trying to pull their foot off the gas or anything like that, because this team, unlike the Steelers, I think has the ability to come back in the second half.
Treat every game like you're down a Travis Kelce. Treat every game like you're down players, and you all someone has to step up. That's how you beat a team like this that's hungry. The Bengals are very hungry. Joe Burrow looks very, very good. Their offense is young. It's athletic. It's dynamic. Play the way you play. Business like you said. Come in and expect to be down somebody and have to step up. That's how they have to do it.
I'm down with that. 100 times over. Johnny, again, thank you very much. That's two of them. Awesome. So a great question here asked recently, asking if Trent Green belongs in the Chiefs Hall of Fame. Yes, I agree with you, Johnny. Does Joe Montana belong in the Chiefs Hall of Fame? Yes. I mean, what'd Joe do? 2 seasons?
I was about to say, he was like here for 2 years.
That's the only thing. Like, and he came in as the last step. They had their defense from the 90s. Like they were still rolling. Like they had the running back. Like they had what they needed. He was the icing on top. And yes, he got him to the AFC Championship, but does that make him a Hall of Famer in Kansas City? I don't think so. That's my only thing. And you guys know that Joe Montana is my QB1 of all time.
Yep.
So like that's hard for me to say right now that he shouldn't be. Trent Green definitely should be. I think
Yes.
Trent is the third best quarterback in the history of this franchise. Yeah.
I think I might have him too, but it's hard to.
Okay.
2 and 3 is very. It's close. I love what Len Dawson, Alex Smith, and Trent Green have all done. I think physically, what he could do offensively has him at 2 for me over those guys, and right behind Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Metal's back. Glad you made it, buddy. First question: is there, other than Drake Jackson in the first round, who should the Chiefs take? Oh wait, does he mean a wide receiver only? Who should the Chiefs take in the first round?
I think he's just asking for in general.
Just generalities. I would take Drake London before Drake Jackson. I don't have Drake Jackson as a first rounder right now. A lot of tape still to go. You guys, you guys know I usually don't even start tape until after the NFL playoffs. So I've watched live games. I've only done a little bit of tape. I don't know. I could name you 10 players, but they're all going to be gone.
It's a difficult thing, man. We haven't gotten. I don't even have any tape, man. Right now, I have nothing like to really go over. That's why I've been like stuck with my college stuff. It's a frustrating atmosphere. But right now, I'm trying to figure out what they want to do. I think defensive end is like the spot in the first round. They've almost pigeonholed themselves into outside of maybe wide receiver, depending on who's falls. Jamison Williams, maybe.
I'll tell you this then. I will roll with you. I'll tell you what I do then.
Okay,
I will cross my fingers that everybody runs away from Ojabo because of lack of experience, and I take the athletic upside guy and I run with it all day long.
If Ojabo's at the 30s, boom, you take it and you run to the podium. You run to the podium. But I have a big feeling he's going to be gone in top 15.
Let me just say this, Brett Veach. I will volunteer to be. You can watch a 40-year-old something guy run it to the podium for you. I will be that dude for you. I would be very happy with that. Would Hitchens take the vet min? Would they offer it? Someone will offer him more than that, and I don't think he'll get an offer from the Chiefs.
No, I don't think so either.
If they do, and it's anything over vet min, there's a problem.
Yes, agree.
What problems can the Bengals bring to the Chiefs week 1? They can be explosive. If they jump on them early and there's a stall on the offensive side for the Chiefs, they can build a 14-point lead pretty easily.
That's it. If their corners can't get their heads around in this game, it's going to be a long night for them.
Thank you, Myron. Oh, Dan, you're breaking up just a little bit. I don't know if it's bandwidth or what. It might be on my end too.
That's sad.
I don't know.
I hope everyone.
Thank you, Myron. Yeah, maybe it might just be me. Who knows? Jaden, do you think Sammy Watkins will be back next year? He'll be back in Baltimore. I don't think he'll be back in Kansas City.
Yeah, he's not going to come back to KC.
They just won't have the money to pay him. And he's in his career where he needs to get paid. How about all the time that Mahomes had last night? Yes. Was a beautiful thing. You're absolutely right, King Chief. And by the way, congrats to Orlando Brown. He got a nice bump in his payout thanks to making the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
And he's made the transition. Is it always pretty? No, but he's made the transition. When we're talking about, hey, we're not so happy with him, but he just made the Pro Bowl as the left tackle. Like, we got to be pretty happy with that.
I think
Problem is he's now going to be a $20 million a year player.
Yeah, that is the caveat, isn't it? We love it, and then you have to think about that. So,
yeah. Chief boy, do you think the Chiefs' run offense will be smoother without CEH? Or offense runs smoother? If you mean the runs themselves, I don't think so. And certainly the rest of the offense, I don't think so. The smoothest it runs, I think, is with Darryl because he can do literally everything and knows all the side adjustments and everything else. But hey, Lance, with the new salary cap number released from 1 to 10, where are the Chiefs going in next year? Right now, they are $30 million under the gap, but they only have 27 players signed.
Yeah,
you project that out, they're about $30 million over. Now that's a projection, but it's going to be tough. I think you're going to have to see some delayed contracts, some delayed payouts.
That's exactly what they've done to this point anyway. So I think you'll see some backloading.
Take Tim's, will you?
Thank you for the question, Tim. Kyle Long bringing in a big physical and fresh body could pay big dividends from here on out. I hope it doesn't come to that. No offense to Kyle Long, but he now hasn't played in over 2 years almost. And it's not looking great for him staying healthy. He just got back off the COVID list after being activated off IR. So his body is pretty much telling him to stop playing football, if you ask me. And it's a little bit of an issue. I hope he doesn't have to play because you want your starters to play. And I think that we've gotten lucky to an extent with Wiley being as serviceable as he has been at right tackle. If you have to end up bringing in Kyle Long, again, hoping his body can hold up to it. And again, we haven't even seen him play. We haven't seen him play in 2 years, so we don't even know what he can really do. But him being there, like you said, it could pay dividends. I hope it doesn't have to.
Yeah. Knock on wood. That means something else broke serious.
Yep.
Southern Bell, thank you again. I didn't see another comment yet, so I'll wait for that, and I will check back here in a little bit. Paddock, is Nick Bolton really as good as some are saying? I think the Missouri fans are blowing it a little bit out of proportion. He's been very good as a middle linebacker. He hasn't been that great as a Sam.
Correct. And he's really good at what he does well. And I think that was always going to be the case.
But next season, in the middle linebacker spot, doing what he does, he impressed me against the pass in the last 2 weeks.
Yes,
which has been his fault for me. I think that he can be a top 15 linebacker, maybe top 10. And if you're just talking middles, he can be the top middle linebacker in this league.
That's
as long as you're not playing Tampa 2 and 20,
yeah.
As long as he doesn't have to do Tampa 2 20-yard drops. King Chief, I like Boot a lot. I thought he was going to make the roster. He's better than he was. I understand why you say that. I thought he was going to make the roster too. I think I thought Hughes has rose to the occasion a lot this season, not consistently, but enough. So I'd still put him on top.
Yeah, I think that what Hughes has done over the course of the last 2 to 3 weeks has catapulted him a bit higher than I initially had him. He's definitely played much better.
Russ, can we have some love for the Wiley performance yesterday? Absolutely.
No.
I'm very impressed with him. I'm just trying to remember not to get so excited as I did after the Saints game last year.
Yeah, we just took off from that point. Hey, we have ourselves a tackle here.
I checked that box and I was out the door, man. I'm telling you.
Did the same thing, and I'm like, hey, we're good to go. And then I was like, hey, he did it against Cam Jordan. He can do it against JPP. I was very wrong.
At least not that day, anyway. Thank you, Russ. Ready Whip. If the playoffs ended today, who could the Chiefs play in the divisional? Good Lord. I still think that Tennessee, especially if they get Henry back, they're going to be very difficult.
They wouldn't play him in the divisional because they'd be the 2 seed.
They would, wouldn't they?
So Bengals are a possibility because they would be, assuming they win their wild card, they'd be the 4. Are they the 3 right now? I don't remember exactly what it is, but they're there. Sure. You have the Bills are in the playoffs, or I think they're the 4 seed right now. They're the 3 or the 4. Yeah. So, and then
they just took their division yesterday, right? They did take it over.
They took over the Patriots, and you've also got the Colts in there. You got some other the Patriots.
Colts and the Chargers are the 2 teams that scare me.
Yeah,
because the Chargers heckle and Clyde, or heckle and whatever,
and Jekyll
heckle
and Hyde.
I'm just into heckling, evidently. When they're good enough to beat a lot of teams and knock somebody out to get to the divisional. Is my thought. So
yeah, I think the Colts are the team that they definitely could play in the divisional round because they can knock someone off.
Would you take this one, and I'll grab us the other super chats that I saw?
Thanks, Hot and Spicy. What grade would you give the Nick Bolton selection now that we have a sample size of him? I think that he could be still very good, but you have to take into account where he was drafted, what you drafted, okay? You're not drafting a linebacker with Willie Gay's upside. You drafted a guy who's getting better in pass coverage, but he's very much a run-first player. That's what he was, and I think that he's, like I said, he's getting better in passing situations than we expected him to be. So I would still give it a C. And I know that people will hate on that, and that's okay. But I believe that when you take a physically limited person, specifically at linebacker, in the second round, it's not a good selection. I think it's fine.
Fair enough. Yeah, he's played into it. I'm going to give him that, and I'm going to take the upside. And I saw your comment, Aaron. I'm getting to it. Congrats on the juicy year of membership, Holly. 1 year for Miss Holly. Thank you very much. Super contributor, Miss Holly. Thank
you, Holly.
I must really be on the lag tonight. Now I'm seeing Dan see my stuff a little bit later than I'm saying it. So
just a little bit.
Caden, I heard McKinnon coming off IR. What do you guys think about where he could be put him on the practice squad? I don't expect Gore to go back to the practice squad. No, they'll carry all 4 of them if they do bring him back. I heard he could come back.
I haven't seen anything specific on that.
So the depth there is absolutely fine, especially if they want to hold back on Clyde for a little bit. What makes you think that they won't bring Matthew back? Just the money? That is the big thing, especially because they're going to pay Orlando because they're going to protect Mahomes. The question is going to be, what does the absence of Hitch and Clark get you? And is that enough to make Matthew happy? Right. When he signed he went in as the number 2 highest paid safety when he signed his contract. Now I think he's 9th. So we're talking about bumping him up at least to 17 mil a year so he can get over Harrison Smith, who's number 2. That's getting expensive there. And I don't know if they're going to be willing to pull that trigger.
We'll find out. I'm hoping.
Yeah. But that is it, Red. I don't think that has anything to do with on-field play at all. Can Chiefs afford Scary Terry as a second-year wide receiver? No one's going to let him back in the league, man. He did some off-field things that
They're talking about Terry McLaurin, not Terry, not Tamorin Terry.
Oh.
They're talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought it was okay. Terry McLaurin, oof, as a second contract wide receiver.
I think he's just talking about second wide receiver, but yeah, he would be on a second contract. I don't think he's a free agent next year either, unless I'm off on my years. But
no, I think he's got at least one left.
Yeah, but I would love to see him in KC. I wanted to see him in KC before during the draft. I loved Terry McLaurin coming out. So, but he's going to be quite expensive on the open market.
Quite expensively, and I think that it's a sinking ship in Washington. So I think he will go elsewhere, and I think his suitors will overbid him because there will be a number of them, is my guess. So yeah, that's going to be tough. But sorry, I misunderstood you there, Josh. And he is under contract for 2022, and they do have, I believe, the 5th-year option, right?
He was a first rounder. Pick. No, he wasn't. He was second or third round. I think he was second.
Okay, gotcha. No. Chiefs Packers in the Super Bowl. Your thoughts? I would love that Ice House.
I think that's how it's going to be. Right now, that's what I have it as.
Rock and roll. Thanks, Ship. How are you? What do y'all think the ranks in the QBs in the AFC right now? A lot of young QBs on the come up. You're absolutely right. Ranking them.
Just give a top 5. I wouldn't even go like ranking like all of them. Just give like a top 5.
In the AFC, it's Mahomes, Herbert. It's Mahomes, Allen, Herbert. Burrow?
Yeah.
Mac Jones is what I thought he was. So he's not on that list.
Nope. But I think that you would probably have to squeeze what? Jackson at 5 in the AFC. I think you're forced to at that point.
Yeah, and I think personally, I think Herbert and Allen are very, very close. Yeah. That could flip. I could flip on a week.
Yeah, and Burrow's
great question, Ship.
Burrow's coming.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Miss Holly, thank you for the super chat, and thank you. Congratulations on the year. I hope you had a nice Christmas. Seems like there's a lot of CEH hate floating around the internet, and I don't understand. It's not CEH hate; it's price tag.
There's some real hate going on. You
okay?
Don't see
not that I'm
really as much as I see, but there is some real Clyde hate. There has been ever since he was drafted, which is nature of the drafting position where he was drafted. So.
Yeah,
pretty much what
it's expectation versus reward, basically, Miss Holly. And I do like the new profile picture, Holly.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being with us as always. One of our stalwart members. I love this stuff. Guys, when I started the membership, I never thought I'd get anybody to a year. I figured everybody would just be like rolling in during the season, out of the season, whatever, So thank you. Mike, thank you. With CEH out again, do you think that Gore takes advantage of the opportunity to have a few massive games to solidify his spot as RB1 next season? I think he has a chance to have some massive games because I think his opportunity will be split with Darrell. I don't think he's RB1 next year, though.
I don't think so either. And I still think as of right now, it's going to be Clyde as their starter. It's all going to be about how they end up chipping away at it. Who ends up chipping away? If Clyde doesn't take another step forward, then you're going to see running backs. This committee type thing is going to be a pretty prevalent thing in Kansas City.
Yeah. Now somebody could pay Darrell a lot, and maybe that they wrangle him away. I think he is on his last year here right now.
I think so.
So you never know, but I just don't think they're gonna let Gore vault CEH. Thanks, Mike. If Packers get home field advantage, it's a disadvantage. Broke toe and cold is not good. Who's got a broke toe, Bill?
I don't think he's just talking about Aaron Rodgers' toe injury. But
okay. I pay no attention to Aaron Rodgers, what he says any longer.
He says he's been feeling way better lately anyways, so I'm not too he's not too worried about it, and I think that he's been playing people for quite a while about it.
Thank you, Red. We appreciate you. Guys, if you would hit the thumbs up and like and sub if you haven't. We're in the home stretch here. We're going to hammer through the rest. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you. In my opinion, it's the next great rivalry isn't Mahomes-Herbert, it's Mahomes-Allen.
Nope.
It's Mahomes-Allen, it's Mahomes-Burrow. Okay. When I watch Joe B, I have flashbacks being 12 years old watching Montana. Wow. I do not see that. Wow. That is high praise.
It is high praise. I don't think Burrow is nearly the athlete that Montana is or was. I don't think he can do some of those things with his legs that Joe could. Burrow is an extremely accurate quarterback. Okay. I think that's what he is. He doesn't have the cannon, but he has a good, accurate downfield ball. And now with his knee injury, I think you're seeing him do that way more often than try to take off like he did in college. It's also not the same level. So I think that Burrow can get there because we've seen accuracy can take QBs to different levels. Drew Brees, Tom Brady being two of the guys that have really done that over the course of their careers, is adjusting that accuracy and making them deadly. But I don't think Burrow can do athletically what either Allen or Herbert can do.
I agree with you there. And when I see him put the ball into spots that I'm not comfortable with, if anything, if you want to pick a Hall of Famer to like try to compare him to, I don't think it's personally there yet, but I would probably lean towards Jim Kelly of anybody myself. Not the uber athlete, not the best arm.
That's a good, very good comp, I think, for him.
Okay. And now that said, I wouldn't compare him to any Hall of Famer yet. He's a good quarterback. We're reaching here. We're way out there, la la land right now. It's like I'm sitting on the beach. Red, Montana's my QB of all time. Also, I seen him just with the team, and they win. Yeah, I mean hey, he's a system. I don't know where the mayor is. Thank you, Aaron. Hey, Julian, hope you're doing good. Jimmy, you made it back. Thank you for last night. I'm sorry I missed your super chat. I already said that earlier before you were here. Hey, lady. Evening. Looking ahead, where do we draft a DT and Jaron Reed long-term status and in the future? I do think that they will draft a DT. I like the DT class right now. From what I've seen to this point, I think they could bring Reed back. He's going to want a little bit more, but I still think you get him for maybe 6-7 a year. Night. We'll have to see about Jaron Reed, but I do think that they could add some depth there, definitely, if they feel they need to. Gold Towel, thank you for the support as always. Did we have Gay versus the Bills? I see him being most important if we get Josh in the playoffs. Did he play the Bills? I don't
think he did. I went to that game. I don't remember seeing him on the field, so I think we were stressing that he might play during that game, but I don't think he ended up getting cleared.
I will try to look at that here real quick here in a minute. Aaron, I heard you. I'm just saying. I was just saying. Vindel, thank you very much. Dion Sanders has a son that plays for him at Jackson State. I have seen him, and yes, he plays well. I don't know that I'd call him a shutdown corner. I certainly don't think he's better than his dad at this point. You also have to remember that the level of competition of what Jackson State plays is not playing SEC. It's not playing anything FSU played when his dad was in school. but I do like him. And he has two sons that play for him, and I think the other's the quarterback. So like,
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how that progresses. And he has, I think they both have 2 years of eligibility left. I know he lost the bowl game, but that doesn't matter. He got the top recruit in this class, and like that program's on the up. So I think you're going to see a lot more. Sorry, Dan. I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just said so is he. That's all.
Okay. Dang. I'm terrible tonight, folks. Ian, thank you very much. Nice to see you. Have you seen the Bolton stat where he's the only player in the NFL with 100 plus tackles and 100 plus or 10 plus TFLs? If he had 100 plus TFLs, I'd pay him.
Yeah, right. We wouldn't be saying anything about his draft position.
And thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Thank you for the support, Ian. Hope you've been well. I had not seen that. Had you?
Yeah, I did. It's PFF does that stuff where they kind of throw it on Twitter here and every now and then. They put that out there, I think 2 weeks ago after his game against the Chargers. But yeah, he's, like I said, he's been exactly what we thought he would be. So yeah, I think he's been much better than I anticipated.
I'm happy about it. Yeah, I had not seen that stat, and clearly I am not spending enough time on on Twitter or Facebook lately. I'm not even on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
So if you guys are on Facebook and you see like the messages about the videos and stuff, that's all automated. I don't actually participate in Facebook anymore. My family just
I barely do.
It was getting bad. I just want to say it out loud. So thank you, Ian, for all the support over the years, not just this super chat, but thank you for that one as well. Travis, would you still go after Vic Fangio after he has let go? Knew he'd be brought up his name some when Spags was struggling. Only if Spags is let go. What Andy said today is that he expects both AB and Spags to get some attention for head coach.
Yeah, that's the caveat now. Now it's no longer about the struggling because they turned it around. It's about if Spags gets another head coaching job, which I guarantee you was his game plan all along. Because that's what you want to get. So yeah, I anticipate him getting his name thrown around, and if he ends up leaving, then yes, I would be okay with Vic Fangio being a defensive coordinator for this team.
Absolutely, and Vic's system is different than Spags, but it's not dramatic. These players can fit into it. I would like to see that happen. Actually, if it can't be Rex, it might as well be Vic, as far as I'm concerned.
No. You're starting to lag too.
Big Sean is in the house. Folks, make sure you sub to his channel as well. Is it true that Gore's related to Frank? I saw somebody say that on Twitter. I have no idea whether it's true or not, man.
I don't believe it's true. I think that someone said something during the ESPN or something today about him being a son. Just no. I don't believe they're related at all.
If so, hey, it would make perfect sense, and that means that Derek is going to be here for a very, very long time. I mean, his dad's trying to be a boxer now, or I guess I shouldn't call him his dad. Frank is trying to be a boxer now, as I understand. So, but folks, make sure you check out Big Chief Sean channel as well. You can sub just by searching Big Chief Sean Football, and make sure that you check out the pregame videos on game days from Big Chief Sean. Curtis, are we going to bring back Ward, Matthew, Hughes, Baker, Reed, Ingram, Remmers, Sorensen, Neiman? Who goes? Who stays? Woo!
I have a question.
Go for it.
All right. So I think I believe Matthew is going to be a Chief next year. So I think you have one there. I don't think Ward will be. I think Hughes and Baker could both be. They'll be cheaper than Ward will be, and you can get them on. I think Baker's already on the team next year. So Hughes, I think, is a yes right now for me. I also believe that Reed and Ingram will be. I don't think Remmers will be. Sorensen, no. Neiman, no.
Okay. I hope that Ingram and Reed do.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. I think it would be relatively cheap.
Yes, I agree.
Another veteran.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ward. I doubt Hughes. I think no on Sorensen. I think Neiman might be, because I think if Spags is here, Spags loves him, and that's what it comes down to. But other than that, I agree with you. Great question, Curtis. Eric, how are you? Want to take a second to say there's no time of year like this time of year. Let's go Chiefs. Nice to hear you, Patrick.
I love it. Love it.
Mr. Patrick, that is. Thank you for the support. Yes. And no, you didn't get me to cuss on my stream.
Almost. I was watching. I'm like, is he going to do it?
Very easy. It's very easy. My friends like to call me RFT for a reason. So like, it's very easy for me to slide into that. How long is CEH out? Thank you, Alyssa, by the way. Which position groups are perfect and won't need to be touched in the off season? There's no such thing as a perfect position group.
Everyone's going to need something.
And they called Clyde week to week. So basically, Thursdays are the big practice of the week. Fridays is a walkthrough. If we get some indication that he's had full practices and they start thinking and talking about him, he'll probably be back. But I'd like to see him take a week or two off.
Me too.
Mr. Phil, hope you're doing well. I love CH, but is he injury prone? I mean, that was always the question. He didn't have a ton of snaps in college, and with the size thing, there was always like a concern. I don't know if that's it or not for me yet. Like, the jury's still out, in my opinion.
I agree. I think his injury last year was much like Tyreek Hill's 2 years ago, if you remember, that freak accident that just kind of doesn't happen very often. And it happened to him, and then he ended up coming back from it. He hasn't had any season-ending stuff. So I think that Nick's, and he's dealing with more, playing in the NFL, adjusting to the NFL with a bigger workload than he was, like you said, accustomed to at college. So outside of his final year. So it's all a feeling out process. He's a smaller guy, so it takes its toll. We just got to wait and see. But right now, it's hard to say he's injury prone if he's not like missing a ton of time, and it's also his second year, so you don't really know until maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers, Phil. Appreciate it, Mike. Thank you for the support. My last question about the RB1 spot. I meant to ask if you think Williams can solidify RB1 spot, not Gore. Williams seems to be pushing hard to go. I don't know that he has to solidify it. I think it's like it's a trust factor, and they're comfortable with Darryl. I think they will use him first, but I don't think because he's used first means that he gets like necessarily the bulk of the touches. I think it is truly a share. If you go into a game like this next game with basically just Gore and Darryl, I think it's pretty much a 50-50 split.
Yeah. So Darryl Williams is the dinner you always make because you know it so well and you can do it really quickly and it's going to taste really good. Like, it's going to taste good. But you give a guy like Derek Gore, who you don't know so well, an opportunity to say, if I do this right, it can taste way better than that.
I like that.
That was my best on the spot thing I've ever done.
We're going to do more cooking analogies. That's what we're going to do. I like it. So Daryl's like the pot roast, like good, wholesome, you can knock it out every time. And you're saying that Derek's more like, the flat iron with the, ciabatta rub and stuff, right?
Something like that. Yeah. I think that's ideally both. I think both Gore and Clyde to an extent can give you a little bit more than what we've seen from both of them, but you just hit that.
I'm so hungry now.
You're welcome.
It's going to be a problem. Eric, thank you again. Did anyone else know Derek Gore is Frank Gore's son? I had no idea. I still have no idea. Again, I'm not confirming that. That's not what I was saying before. I don't know. Gonzo, welcome back. How many rings does Kelsey get when he's done playing? 4.
Loving it. I think I was gonna say 3 or 4. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good one.
I'll take the upside.
I love it.
Steven, should we try to bring in Jabril Peppers in the offseason to replace Dirty Dan? As Dan, curious for your opinion. So you're all for it, yes?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Jabril Peppers.
I liked him coming out. I think he has been stuck in an ever-changing role, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens with guys like him, though.
Tweeners. Yep.
Yeah.
And notice, folks, I call tweeners in a negative context, hybrids in a positive context. But I think if there is a role that's good for him, it is Dan's role.
Yes, I 100% agree.
I have no problem with it, especially because I don't think that he's had the kind of last 2 seasons that are going to make him overly expensive.
No.
Dale Carter or Emmett Thomas. Phil, you're crushing me here, buddy. I never saw Emmett play live. So I actually worked out a few times with Dale Carter because he lived very close to me when I was living in Kansas City. So I'm a little biased there, but In today's world, I'll take Dale.
I don't have any information on either. I'm sorry, guys.
They both predate Dan. It's fine.
Nope, I didn't watch either of them play.
Metal's back. Other than D, do you see the Chiefs going for CB, DL, or DT in the first round?
Corner if guy falls.
What Dan said.
Yeah.
Other interior D line, I think it will be farther down.
Yeah.
Harlan, why isn't Creed getting any Rookie of the Year love? Creed has been rated the #1 center in the NFL since. It's because he plays an ugly position that gets no credit.
It's a nuanced discussion to have, and these awards are stats based, and you don't have stats for a center. That's just the short of it. That's just what it is.
And there's a reason that I bring up pressures and blocking in terms of how many pressures you don't allow in order to shed some light on that, but it's not really well looked at across the league, Harlan. And you got to remember, like, the players will give credit. That's why the players vote on 2/3 of the Pro Bowl votes. The fans make up the rest. And so even if you get the players who recognize talent, the guys that they've played, Cam Hayward is probably going to vote for Creed Humphrey, but the fans aren't ever going to do it. They're going to go with the biggest names that they recognize, and that's really going to be it. It is what it is.
Sad.
I know. It kind of is. Tactics, what do you got? Yes, you did. I did say
did.
It happens.
That's very true.
Adam, thank you for the support as always. Is this the best version of Charvarius Ward? Has he earned himself a multi-year deal? What about the rest of the DBs? Go ahead, Dan.
This is the best version of Charvarius Ward. Letting him do what he does best. He's finally getting his head around a little bit more. He can see the ball, and I don't believe that he's earned himself a multi-year deal with the Chiefs. I think that they want to get a little bit younger, a little bit more athletic at the position. And I do think he's going to get himself a nice multi-year deal somewhere else, especially if he keeps playing and getting the interceptions down the stretches that he has.
I was reading comments. I will agree with you wholeheartedly, though. Just trying to be truthful here. Thank you, Adam. No, I do agree. I think this is the best that we've seen in Charvarius. I do think he has a bit more upside in him. I don't think he's done a complete product yet. So that's good for him. And I think he has earned a multi-year deal. I just don't think it'll be from the Chiefs. What does a Tyreek Hill max contract look like? Great question, Tone. Appreciate you. And thank you for the support. It looks scary is what it looks like.
It does look scary. Like, it's intimidating.
It looks like he makes as much as Orlando Brown. It's $20 million a year.
Possibly even more.
Yeah. I mean, that's me and my natural conservative nature saying
I know.
A year.
He could be upwards of $25 million a year. Like, I think that's what you could be looking at, but it's all going to be what happens.
I am a cheapskate as a general manager, folks. I am trying to be conservative in every contract I can because you know that when these guys come up, you got to retain your own talent. It's key. Oh man, yeah, it's scary. Lev, look at Dan getting his influence from Seth with the metaphors. I see you. I like it.
It just, it just came to me. It just did.
Are good. Mattis, do you think that Andy will build on this type of game plan and start having more drawn-up plays from McColl and Pringle? I want to say yes, but unfortunately, he hasn't given me a reason to say yes. I'm right next to you, man.
Yeah, I think we've all kind of assumed that would be the case. And making Travis Kelce not available for a game forced his hand to do so. And look what happened. So, I mean, I'm just saying. Hey,
you need Inspirato from a number of different places. That's where you get it. I don't mean to quote Jack Black. Sorry, Jack, but for all you Tenacious D fans out there. Miss Holly, sad that yesterday was our last regular season home game. But what a way to end the season at home. Hoping we can make it to a playoff game. I think that you will be able to, and I think you'll have multiple opportunities, Miss Holly.
Yep.
I hope that I see you out there. This season's going to be tough for me to make a playoff game. I'm just going to warn you all. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure you're going to see Sean, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have tailgate on his hands, so you're going to have to hook up. That is
do it.
Doug, Daryl Pot Roast Williams. Interesting, right? See, I just changed it. He's not dirty anymore. See? I just got it. Done. Yep, took care of that. Stevie Keys, thank you. Thank you, for the last time, Frank and Derek are not related, especially not father and son. Frank is 38. Derek is 27. Okay, thank you. Yeah, he didn't have a kid when he was 11. Good one. Thank you, Stevie. I appreciate that.
Thank you for that.
Miss Holly, thank you again. Good Lord.
Wow.
What teams do you think will be eliminated during the wild card round from the AFC and NFC? I'm going to pull that up now.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you can let me know who's up there.
Yeah, 2 seconds here. I'm looking. Schedules. How about schedules? This is what happens when you go to ESPN and they don't have a clue as to what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. The kind of might have to Google playoff picture really quick.
Right. So I will say this. I think there are a number of possibilities, but I think especially the 4-5 game and the 3-6 game are going to be teams that have legitimate shots for upsets.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers will be one of them. Go ahead, lay it on us. Share your screen if you want to.
Right now, I don't think I can feasibly do that. But right now, you've got obviously the Chiefs as the 1, Titans 2, Bengals are 3, Bills are 4, Colts 5, Patriots 6, Ravens are the 7 seed on the AFC. And you've got Packers at 1, Cowboys at 2, Rams 3, Buccaneers 4, Cardinals 5, 49ers at 6, Eagles at 7. So I think the Cardinals, if they get hot, they can upset just any of these teams because they have that ability to. I think that the Rams are a team that could lose in the first round too. Okay. And if the Buccaneers don't get healthy, they could go down too.
Ooh, look out.
I think they definitely think they could. The Colts are going to give whoever they play a run. It doesn't matter. It's that's just a tough matchup.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Ravens doing anything. Patriots maybe give someone a run, but I think the Titans could also lose in the first round. Very seriously, I think they could.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. I mean, it all depends who they get back and who they have on the roster that week. To tell you the truth. I mean, I like Tannehill, and I'm really happy for him and his transition to Tennessee, but he is weapon dependent as much as any quarterback, if not more than most quarterbacks in this league.
He's Derrick Henry dependent.
That true. But honestly, his passing game went in the toilet without AJ.
Oh, yeah. No, it did. But what I don't see, I thought it would happen more, especially in that game where he played last week. Just take him away.
Mm-hmm.
Double him, bracket him, whatever you have to do. But the 49ers didn't do that. Like teams don't do it enough. Like there's no threat on anybody else in that team except for AJ Brown without Derrick Henry, without healthy Julio Jones, and they just didn't do it. And that's a frustrating and confusing thing. So without Derrick Henry, if you just double AJ Brown, I don't think that they can do anything.
Okay. I can live with that. Ms. Holly, thank you again.
Yes, thank you.
One of our biggest contributors here to the channel, folks. Like, sub, and hit the bell if you're new and you're not one of us already. And if you are one of the new members, I know there's been a bunch of you lately, hit me at that email address, rgrpodcasts@gmail.com. And then I can get you over there. 2 more comments. I know we're way over tonight, and then we will get out the door.
All good.
Sensana, welcome back. Who's the biggest competition in the AFC for the Chiefs in the playoffs, and why?
You go first.
I'm torn between the Colts and the Bills. If the Bills get hot and their defense can rally a little bit, they can be formidable. I do like the combination, and I think we've seen it, of Dawson and Diggs in Buffalo is got some potential there. I think the Chargers can hurt a lot of other people. I don't think the Chargers are going to get back at the Chiefs. They've seen enough of them this season. I don't think that they get there. But the Colts, even when the Chiefs are playing well, they still give up some big chunks. The difference is that Jonathan Taylor will take it to the house, and now you're giving up points, not just chunks. So that makes me a bit nervous.
I still think the right now the Josh Allen that we're seeing is the team that can and give them the most trouble. They're playing. He's playing much better, much like Patrick Mahomes is. He's catching fire right now.
Yeah, and hey, if you get hot, you get on a roll. There's some guys can be unstoppable. Thank you, Sensana. Cody, how are you? Is Mahomes playing his way back into the MVP discussion, or was he too bad early? I think all those interceptions hurt him. I don't think he can get back into the MVP.
That and the 2 games without throwing a pass touchdown like last month will be the reason that he's not in the MVP conversation, in my opinion.
Yeah. And that's okay. I can live with it.
It's fine.
Holly, you're also rooting for a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl. I like that. Was hoping for one last year. I hear you there. I am all down with that. Tone, thank you for the support.
Thank you, man.
If we win the Super Bowl, I'm driving all the way from Philly for the parade. I missed it last time, and I will not miss it again in KC.
Yep,
I'm a trucker, so I'm used to long hours.
I will be there. I can promise you that much. I will be there.
I tell you what, you guys, if you don't know, my brother's a photographer and videographer, and he shot the parade for me. If you go back to the RGR channel, it's the like featured video on there, and you can go watch it from his perspective. He was there the whole day. And it's got some great footage. Basically, just a long music video that I kind of produced to like give a feel of what it was like that day. But I'm with you, Tone. I will make you this promise too. If they win this year, I will skip the Senior Bowl, and I will be there. And we can do something silly there on the memorial grounds. That is it for us tonight. Thank you all. Thank you, Tone. Thank you, Holly. All the members, all the contributors here. Holly, you are correct. The draft is slated for 2023 to be in KC. So yes, I'll be in town for that as well. Excuse me. Dan, thank you for all the time and taking away from the little one who apparently really wants to know what Dad's up to.
She always wants to be in here. When she gets knowledgeable enough, she'll be telling you guys everything that I don't know. So
I like it. I need somebody to track too high coverages. I taught my daughters that, and now they're just like, we don't care, Dad. We just don't care. Thank you all for your time tonight. Thank you for all the contributions to the channel. Thank you for watching us for another year and another season. We will have a live stream on Thursday, but it'll be the new year by the time we get back around on Monday. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. Have a safe and happy new year, and keep yourselves in your own minds. Enjoy this team. I think it's going to be fun. Dan, take care of yourself and enjoy the new year.
Everybody else too. Have a great new year, guys.
We will talk to you on Thursday. Dan, I'll have something for you tomorrow. I'll be back Thursday and Monday. Cheers.